Over the last 3 days, there's been a controversy raging between India and Maldives ever since the deputy ministers in the Maldives government actually came out with sharp racist comments and an attack against the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and India. India and Maldives have enjoyed robust cooperation and very dynamic ties over the last many years. Yet, with the present government in power in Maldives, it seems that there have been relations that have been really going sour. What has led to this, and how does the future look like? Joining us right now is the former defense minister of Maldives herself from Maldives, Mariya Didi. Thank you very much, Mariya ji, for joining us here on News9
Thank
Plus or
you,
TV9
Aditya.
Network. I want to begin by asking you your initial reaction. You've been observing very closely, and you yourself have been speaking very relentlessly for the important strategic ties between India and Maldives over the last many years. You visited India on several occasions as well. How disturbed are you by these developments?
I feel that it is a very sad day. These three ministers who spoke, they have been social media activists, and I don't think they have realized the enormity of being government ministers, how responsible they are, and how it represents the view as it looks to other countries as the view of a whole government and its people. uh, mm, it's a sad day for all of us, for India Maldives and India Maldives relations as well. I mean, this kind of thing has been going on for a while, but it has been a very small proportion of the Maldivians who feel it that way. Even recently when we had the school holidays as well, many Maldivians visited India. Um, India has been our 911 call. Whenever we've been in trouble, you've always come to our assistance, you've helped us. And this relationship is not something that started now, it has been going on from the time of our forefathers, much before you, Aditya, and me too. And we share many things in common. For instance, even our staple food like curry, you know, Hindi music. We love Hindi music. We are very fond of your film stars. We love Hindi films as well. Um, so many things like that we share. The language itself is also very familiar. Many of us have studied in India. All of us go for medical treatment to India when we cannot find the facilities that can really help us in the Maldives. So it has really been a, neighborhood relationship that others can look with, like, they could learn a lot from it. That is what we thought before, but at the moment it seems to be like, some ministers who are very young, who come in, they've made some remarks which are very irresponsible. But that is not that I'm trying to give an excuse for what they have done, but trying to still, make sure that we keep the neighborly relationship as it has always been.
Fair point. But Maria Didi, tell me, the current president in Maldives is visiting China, and this comes at a very important time for him personally. Firstly, do you think the suspension of these three ministers is enough? Or what do you think that the president of Maldives needs to do to amend or do a course correction so that the ties are not impacted? And the kind of boycott Maldives campaign, the unfortunate campaign that is going around because people of India and South Asia are disturbed by the developments, could end. And again, there could be robust ties between India and Maldives. What needs to be done?
I think it is very important that just because of those three ministers, that we don't all lose our heads. We don't reflect it as the view of the Maldivians. There are so many Maldivians who have been calling me today very upset with what is going on, and saying that it doesn't represent their view. And we've had a lot of Indian tourists visiting us. The highest number of tourist arrivals last year was from India. And it is important, that we keep it that way as well, for us and for you all as well, because Indians enjoy the Maldivian hospitality industry, the resorts and all. We become a very favorite honeymoon destination of yours. And it's like, India's affluent people are sharing their whatever riches that they have with us by coming and visiting us, and we have also benefited from them, and they also in their own way benefited from us. So I hope that just because of these the remarks of these three ministers, that it doesn't go that way, and I hope the government issues uh, an apology, and instead of suspension and I don't know what more, but I think they should do more to reach out to you all and to show the good intentions of the Moldavian people towards India.
Right, you say that they need to do more, but one question that also comes to mind that immediately after the government came to power and there was an interaction between the Indian Prime Minister and the Maldivian President, there was one subject about the Indian troop presence, the naval presence in Maldives. We've enjoyed robust defense cooperation over the last many years. You, of all, have led that initiative from Maldives. What does this say that the current government of Maldives doesn't appreciate that and wants India to move out immediately? What's your reaction to that? And do you think that this is a needless controversy?
I mean, the government has been giving mixed signals. What President Muiz has said is these things don't work overnight, that he needs time, that these things will happen in time, and things like this. So we were under the impression that both governments were talking, and whatever President Muiz does, he has to make sure that he does it for the benefit of the people of the Maldives. And we Maldivians have benefited from it. As you know, the Indian contingent that were here before Muiz came into power, he was saying there are thousands of troops here, but actually they have put the count at 89, and all in a humanitarian capacity and humanitarian assistance they were giving. Medical evacuation, search and rescue, and all. When we asked for it, the government asked for this facility to have the helicopters and the Donia as well, and they have complied, and they have been assisting us. So I don't see any reason why, there are no complaints of Maldivians about the assistance that they have been giving, the lives that they have saved by being available when emergencies arise. So many incidents at sea also have been prevented by them being there. So it's something that has helped us. And I don't see any reason why it should not be used when friends are offering it to us free of charge.
Mariya Didi, you mentioned that the current government needs to apologize to India. But the entire controversy also began immediately after Prime Minister Modi made a domestic trip to an Indian island called Lakshadweep and encouraged tourism there. Why do you think that these certain ministers actually got triggered by that particular visit? And again, do you think that this was completely needless because Lakshadweep is a part of India? There's whatever domestic tourism that comes in there, and it cannot be compared with Maldives. Maldives has again their own constituency. Apart from India, there are a lot of Westerners that visit Maldives as well. Do you think that this was kind of a self goal by these ministers?
I thought it was very irresponsible and unwarranted for. We have our neighbor Sri Lanka also. It's also a very favorite tourist destination by many people, but we have always complimented each other. There are things that can be done in Sri Lanka that doesn't necessarily like their elephants and their natural habitat there is completely different from Maldives. But people have combined the beaches of Maldives, the facilities available in Sri Lanka, and we have always done it together as complementing each other. So I think it was a little bit short sighted to see it that way. There are so many things that we can do with Lakshadweep and Maldivian beaches as well, which could really complement, the tourism industry we have. The more people that come to our part of the world, I mean, India has been a tourist destination from like you have so many temples, you have many other sites. Goa is also a beach, so it's just something that was an overreaction on their part, I think, for them to really have come out and said things. And especially the words that were used, those strong disparaging remarks, are something that is totally unacceptable and not reflecting the views of ordinary Maldivians. And I really hope, that this doesn't offend the people of India so much that they take it as that. But they
Right.
should also see it as, even though they are ministers, just some social media activists saying something.
Fair enough. One last question before I let you go, Mariya Didi. I want to understand from your perspective. You have close interaction with your counterparts in India and with Indian people at large over the last many years. What would be your message both to the Indian people and the Indian government at this important stage? Because officially, the Indian government has not engaged in this kind of an argument, verbal argument, but the Indian government has summoned the Maldives envoy and created not just a protest but objection to the kind of statements that have come in both in Mali as well as in New Delhi. So, what would be your message both to the government and the people of India?
I think, we should apologize. If government ministers, even though they are social media activists, they should, because they have the label of government ministers, they should apologize. The government should apologize, and it should come wholeheartedly. It should not be a partial apology or anything. It should be a full-fledged apology. And I think, we should all come to our senses, to talk to each other, find ways of cooperation, do things together. We've had a India-Maldives partnership goes a long way. We've had many things where we have partnered together and done so many things together. So I'm sure, for the benefit of our people, our government, the Maldivian government should come to its senses, and we should go ahead and offer an apology and try to get, whatever strains that has taken on, we should amend it and move forward and come together as friends and neighbors who have always been there for each other.
Mariya Didi, appreciate you joining us here on TV9 Network. And let's hope that this can be put behind us and there are better days ahead between India and Maldives. Thank you.
I thank you.